Mr. President, it is my honor to present to you Mr. Lorne Trottier, technology entrepreneur and innovator, and Mrs. Louise Rousselle Trottier, economist and director of the Trottier Family Foundation. For as long as he can remember, Lorne Trottier's curiosity had him wondering how just about everything works. So naturally, he became an engineer. After starting his career at the radar communication systems developer Marconi, he co-founded Matrox in 1976. An early innovator in video control interfaces and military computer simulators, Trottier's company was also at the forefront of the computer graphics card industry during the PC boom of the 1980s and 90s, taking as much as 20% of the global market. Depuis les années 2000, l'entreprise se consacre surtout au développement d'applications industrielles dans le secteur du logiciel et du matériel vidéo, d'imagerie et d'infographie. Après avoir décroché un emploi de secrétaire administratif, Louise Rousselle Trottier, âgée alors d'à peine 17 ans, réalise que si elle veut une carrière plus stimulante, elle devra retourner aux études. Comme beaucoup de mères au travail l'ont fait avant elle, elle suit des cours de soir à l'Université Concordia pour élargir ses connaissances. 7 ans plus tard, elle obtiendra un diplôme en sciences économiques et par la suite deviendra économiste principal dans la fonction publique fédérale. Since 2000, Mr. Trottier has kept his insatiable curiosity alive by supporting causes that interest him through the Trottier Family Foundation. With Louise at the helm, the foundation has generously supported initiatives, both local and international, from Montreal's universities, their hospital systems, and the Eco Museum Zoo, to the David Suzuki Foundation and Doctors Without Borders. Together, they model the entrepreneurial and philanthropic spirits that underlie our university. Mr. President, on behalf of Senate and the Board of Governors, it is my privilege and honor to present to you Mrs. Louise Rousselle Trottier and Mr. Lorne Trottier, so that you may confer upon each of them the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
I invite the Doctors Trottier to address the convocation.
Mr. President and Vice Chancellor, Mr. Provost and Vice President, honored platform guests, graduating class, family and friends, it is a great honor for my wife and me that Concordia University is bestowing on both of us this joint honorary doctorate. I would like to thank Concordia's President and Vice Chancellor, Alan Shepard, for not only recognizing a successful businessman, but also his spouse, who's provided support while studying at Concordia and working at the same time. Our parallel endeavors eventually led to our philanthropic initiatives through our Family Foundation. As you have heard, I've had a successful career in the tech industry. In addition, my wife and I started the Trottier Family Foundation in the year 2000. Ever since my student days, I've had a love of science and technology and evidence-based thinking. Indeed, I've been inspired by the dynamic innovation and philanthropic values of many of the giants of the tech industry. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are setting a great example by giving away most of their wealth. I'm pleased to say that these values are shared by all of our family foundation members, all the members of our family. And our foundation is active in areas like science, education, environment, and healthcare, as well as supporting a number of community and international initiatives. Through donations, we can help causes dear to our hearts and see the impact that it has. We can assure you that this in turn brings us great satisfaction. But we're really here today to extend our congratulations to the class of 2018, who will soon be awarded their degrees. We promise not to keep you waiting too much longer. Even though it has been almost 50 years since I graduated, I still have vivid memories and occasional nightmares of the stress and hard work of earning an engineering degree. It was the most intensive, grueling mental marathon I have ever experienced. But it was a great preparation for the challenges of keeping up with the fast-paced world of technological change. My wife Louise also had her challenges combining work, study, and household management.
First, let me join my voice to Lorne's in thanking Concordia University for awarding me this great honor. I am taking pride of the fact that I probably illustrate the saying that behind a great man, there's a great woman. Okay. As my husband keeps thanking me in public for my support through his entrepreneurial years. All this would not have occurred without the opportunity that Concordia University gave me to access knowledge and skills to become an economist, and once retired, to use my analytical and administrative skills within our family foundation. Please allow me now to regress in time et de continuer à vous adresser la parole un petit peu dans la langue de Molière. Lorne et moi, nous nous sommes rencontrés alors que je travaillais pour le gouvernement fédéral comme secrétaire et poursuivais des études universitaires à Sir George Williams comme étudiante de soir. L'année suivant notre mariage, Lorne a quitté son emploi d'ingénieur d'une grande compagnie de télécommunications pour commencer son entreprise. Ce fut la seule période où j'ai dû le supporter financièrement avec mon salaire peu élevé des années 70. Durant ses premières années comme nouvel entrepreneur et même par la suite, Lorne comptait sur moi pour prendre en charge les activités courantes de la maison, de façon à lui permettre de dédier tout son temps à l'administration d'une jeune entreprise et aux activités de recherche et développement, le tout requérant de très nombreuses heures de travail. In those years, I had enrolled as a part-time student at Sir George Williams University while working full-time as the secretary of a director of economic services, whose department inspired me to study economics. I remember spending many evenings in the hall building and numerous hours studying nights and weekends, and also typing economic reports on a manual typewriter, leaving blank spaces in which to place my charts by hand. Indeed, those were the days prior to the introduction of electronic typewriters and personal computers. Surely, the students who were learning computer science at that time must still have vivid memories of punching cards on the 9th floor of the hall building huge computer room. As a student, I remember starting my university classes with a math course, as my English was poor then, and I was, of course, able to solve problems thinking in French. As I succeeded in this course, I registered afterwards as a regular student. However, I had a slow start as I needed to follow an English course in written communications, pass the required exam before being admitted in the curriculum. After 6 years by night and getting a leave of absence from my employer to complete my last year during the day, I graduated with a bachelor degree with honors in economics and received my diploma in this same concert hall. I will now return your attention to Lorne's remarks on his career.
Alors, Louise n'a pas mentionné une autre aide importante qu'elle m'a apportée au début de ma carrière. Même si je m'appelle Trottier, je ne parlais pas bien le français quand je l'ai rencontré. Alors, quand on commençait à sortir ensemble, j'ai décidé que je devrais toujours lui parler en français. C'est une pratique que l'on a maintenue jusqu'à ce jour, et ce fut une de mes meilleures décisions. Getting back to business, whenever I speak about the electronics industry, I like to point out that it is probably the most dynamic industry in history, and that my company has been a beneficiary of this great electronics-based technological revolution. It is the only industry that has consistently produced compounded exponential growth and performance for well over half a century. This unprecedented technological tidal wave has created a host of wondrous devices that have transformed the way we live, work, and are entertained. To survive and prosper in such a rapidly evolving industry, Matrox has had to reinvent itself multiple times, like a cat that has 9 lives. My company has achieved success by continually identifying new niche market opportunities as older product categories have come and gone. Succeeding in this environment has required a combination of technological competence combined with ongoing creative innovation and a bit of luck. Outre les industries de l'électronique et les technologies de l'information, plusieurs grands défis et nouvelles opportunités se pointent à l'horizon pour vous, les diplômés de 2018. En effet, le phénomène de croissance exponentielle a aussi affecté d'autres champs d'activité humaine. Certains de ces développements sont promoteurs, d'autres comportent des risques importants pour l'avenir. Louise va maintenant en mentionner certains aspects.
Durant la carrière de Lorne, la guerre froide s'est terminée et la mondialisation de l'économie s'est accélérée à une vitesse incroyable. Les progrès de la science et des technologies modernes ont contribué à une croissance accélérée de la consommation et à une plus grande prospérité. Les effets de tels changements économiques se poursuivront et se verront confrontés à d'autres facteurs, entre autres d'ordre démographique et de nature environnementale. Le développement économique de la Chine et de l'Inde, avec leur population collective de 2,5 milliards, apporte des bénéfices, mais aussi des problèmes, lesquels suscitent des défis à relever pour votre nouvelle génération. In the late 18th century, the British economist Thomas Malthus wrote the famous essay on the principle of population, which argued that human population growth was limited by the food supply. He predicted that population growth would be restricted by famine and disease. His theory was a major influence on Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution by natural selection, the survival of the fittest. Indeed, as noted by the scientist and writer Jared Diamond, history provides numerous examples of civilizations that have collapsed due to overexploitation of natural resources. The Malthusian nightmare of overpopulation and overconsumption of resources could yet come to pass on a global scale. At this point, I will let Lorne express his more optimistic thoughts.
Despite the fact that some powerful people, such as the president to the south of us, are climate change deniers, I am an optimist. I'm optimistic in the sense that there are solutions to our most challenging problems, such as climate change. This is why, after achieving financial success in business, A number of my philanthropic investments have been in the area of clean energy and sustainable development. In the 2 centuries since Malthus, human ingenuity has allowed a vast increase in human material wealth and well-being on a scale he could not have imagined, and that most people still don't really appreciate. As rightly pointed out by the well-known Montreal-born writer and Harvard professor Steven Pinker in his new book entitled Enlightenment Now, the world has made spectacular progress in every measure of human well-being, but almost no one really knows about it. Like Pinker, I believe that human ingenuity can find solutions to the daunting challenges of a prosperous global economy in which all people have a good standard of living. The world needs a new industrial revolution that will redesign our economy to operate on the principle of sustainability. Just as life in the industrialized world has totally changed from the 19th to the 20th century, it is likely to continue changing in the 21st. As representatives of the next generation of technological and business leaders, many of you will have the challenge and opportunity of driving these changes. As responsible citizens, we all have a role in building a sustainable future. I've heard that Concordia University has put forward initiatives such as establishing an urban-focused research and innovation hub on its campus. This is highly commendable, and it will stimulate students to help build a sustainable future. During my career, I have been very fortunate to be able to benefit from the great electronics revolution. You and the accumulated knowledge you represent are the key to our future. You are part of the next generation of technology and business innovators. Louise and I wish you all tremendous success in the new technological revolutions that will continue to unfold. It is bound to be an exciting ride. Congratulations to you and your families, and thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, honorary degree recipients, Lorne and Louise Trottier. I wanted to say there are probably some other Sir George graduates out there among the family members, I'm just guessing, who've crossed this stage as well. And it occurred to me that you've participated in and led part of the tech revolution, but you've also participated in the revolution around women's education. Like, there was a time when women didn't go to university, or certainly didn't go in the numbers that they go today. And that's an equally important part of the story going forward for this university and for the world. I salute your entrepreneurial spirit, your social justice commitments, and the work of your foundation, and your participation in the Montreal ecosystem, and also around the world, the work that you're doing to make the world a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, Lorne and Louise Trottier.